you mentioned that you have a theory about climate change. So,
All right. This is my theory. I'm absolutely convinced that the world is getting hotter. I think probably CO2 from man-made emissions is part of it, but not the most important part.
what's the most important part?
Well, the most important part is that the world's been getting hotter since 1680. We were in a mini ice age. The world was extremely hot during the Middle Ages, at least in Europe. Then it got freezing again in the Baroque era. 1680 was the peak when it was coldest, then it started to get hot again. So every century it's been getting hotter. It will get hotter, regardless of, even if people weren't here, it would get hotter. I also think that the global, the CO2 emitted by human industry is making it hotter, because if you start adding that much CO2 to the atmosphere, it will create a you can't add stuff to the atmosphere without it changing the atmosphere, in which we are doing that. We're creating CO2.
So so
All right, well, you make long soliloquies. I need to get to my point, because
Yeah.
it's okay. My point is, though, is that the best, most disastrous arguments on the side of the liberals is that the sea level will raise 6 feet.
okay, I kind of within 100 years.
Okay,
Or so.
But most people think it'll be less than that. It may be as low as a foot or 3 feet. And some people don't think it'll raise at all. And they have good arguments, which I can go into if you want. I'll just do it right now. The other night I was hearing that if an ice cube is in a glass of water and it melts,
It doesn't raise the level of the water.
right? So maybe that's true.
No,
Maybe
hold
it
on a
won't raise the
second.
level.
Hold on, because
Okay. So
on
that's
that-
wrong. That's false.
No, that's true, but you have all this when ice on land melts. That's not floating in water. That ice flows into the water and raises the water level.
Okay, fair enough. So the water level will rise. But my point is this. I don't think it's something that will it will certainly not destroy the world, because the world has been infinitely hotter many times in our history, and it won't even destroy humanity. What will happen is people will move away from the coasts, and they'll adapt. But there's more. We've got 70 years to develop systems of energy that don't involve CO2. Well, in fact, we even have them now, but people like you, who don't believe in science, liberals, are trying to stop that. Like, for example, we have nuclear power.
Hold on. No, wait.
we've
Hold
had-
on. Fucking
there's
hold
one-
on. Fucking hold on.
right.
I love nuclear power.
Okay, then you're not a liberal.
Well, no, you can't. I'm me with my stupid opinions.
All right, well, good. Then we both agree that we need nuclear power. We need hydroelectric, which the environmentalists hate. I believe solar solar panels, solar energy, wind power. I don't have much faith in wind power, but in the next 70 years, God knows what will be created that will improve our energy methods. And we'll always have oil and coal, and humanity will adapt. And I'm just not that worried about it. I think that just the market alone, just people doing what they do, thinking, inventing things.
Well, it's hard to
Will be
disagree
enough.
with some of that.
Good.
I mean, because you're not the full-on conservative.
I don't completely deny it.
Yeah.
In fact, even if we weren't here, as I say, it's going to get hotter. But I have to tell you one other thing. There's good things about it getting hotter.
Oh, hold on, because that puts you in a class with some of the most scurrilously stupid Republican, like the the
All right,
douchebag who
fair
holds
enough.
a snowball in December and says, "Oh, here's your global warming" in Congress.
Okay.
But
Well, if you want to respond, fine. But I'm just saying, if Canada turned out to be warm, I don't think that's a bad thing. The most dire predictions is places like the Southwest U.S. will be unlivable, but places like Canada and Norway and Greenland will be beautiful and
all right, well,
wonderful to
hold
live in.
on. There's more to climate change that's bad than just shit getting hot. You have global ecosystems being disrupted.
May I respond? The worst thing is they say that the ocean is becoming acidic.
Yeah, I was going to bring that was
There's
good.
a lot of arguments against that actually the ocean is so pH that we have no way of knowing that, and they can't even measure the temperature of what the ocean used to be. It's a relatively new science of measuring the temperature
Yeah, but
of the
why
ocean.
don't? But all right,
And we have nothing to compare it to.
Hippocratic oath.
Well, wait.
First, do no fucking harm.
Well,
and if
wait,
we
I'm
can't
not
tell
finished. I'm
whether
not
we're
finished.
doing harm or not, then maybe we should fucking hold up as much as we can.
One of the main arguments about whether we're doing harm to the ocean is they say that species are dying out, like the coral, polar bears, certain types of crustacean, mollusks.
Yeah.
And it turns out that even though they predicted that the coral would die and this and that, there are people on the ground or in the water in Australia that are saying the coral's doing fine.
Yeah, but
It's actually adapting. And the reason that these animals adapt is because they have a much faster rate of...
You have enormous reefs that have gone bleached, that have
Okay.
died.
All right. But
And you have polar bears who are fucked. You have
No, there's more polar bears than ever. There's one right behind you, by the way.
Jesus Christ. That's something where we would probably have to go look at the internet. But polar bears are fucked. They're invading like areas that polar bears shouldn't be because they've lost their territory. Polar bears, here's how bad it is. Polar bears are fucking grizzly bears. I don't know what you call them, but polar bears driven out of their habitat have to come into grizzly habitat where they're banging grizzlies.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I'm not willing. See, here's the problem. Supposing we take your view. Supposing we say that we've got to stop those polar bears from fucking grizzlies. What are you willing to do? Are you willing to get us back to the economy of the 1850s?
Hold on.
Should we have the industry of the 1850s to stop that?
I don't think you can make people do jack shit. Now, fucking Jimmy Carter in 1970, I don't know, 7, 8, he fucking gave a speech to America saying we should, become more energy conscious and drive smaller cars. He wore a sweater in the Oval Office because he had the temperature at the thermostat turned down to like 68, and Americans hated the shit out of that. And before long, we had, after Carter, he lost the election, and that speech helped him lose the election.
Okay.
It also didn't help that he dropped out of a race because he got hemorrhoids, and that he went for a boat ride and a rabbit swam up to the boat and bit his hand.
I remember that. Yeah.
He just looked hapless as shit.
Okay.
And he fucked up the raid on Iran.
Yeah.
But within 5 years after he made that speech, we had Reagan, and within 10 years of that speech, we were starting to drive big-ass SUVs.
Don't move your head so much when you
Okay.
spread lies.
Well, I haven't said any lies yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Maybe liberals want to try to control behavior, but I think it's really hard to do that. Most people have now recycled to some extent,
Okay.
but that's about the limit. Oh, and we drive cars that are a little bit more efficient. And every asshole in LA drives a Prius. Like an asshole. Prius drivers are assholes because they think since they're saving the world with their car, they can drive like dickheads.
All right, I can't argue with that.
Okay. I mean, there are plenty of other dickhead drivers in LA, but Priuses are among that group.
Fair enough.
But I think, so I think market forces are what are going to determine what gets done about global warming.
Good. I'm all for it. If Elon Musk comes out with a wonderful solar panel that everybody's got to have because it's better, faster, and cheaper, that'll solve the problem. That's what I said. Look at what technology's done in the past 70 years. And you're telling me we're not going to come up with better sources of energy? Of course we will.
No, here's what I think
It'll happen on its own. I don't need Obama sticking his thumb on the scale and coming in and telling me what to do.
No, I think you probably, to some extent, need a thumb on the scale.
And I don't want liberals trying to put us back into the pre-industrial age in order to solve this imaginary crisis of things getting hotter. Why don't they just leave people alone and let?
Because when you let industry do whatever the fuck it wants, industry tends to overreach, and industry will go crazy if you don't have any regulation. The market,
that's a general statement. We're talking about global warming.
Yeah, well, maybe put a thumb on the scale. Maybe come up with a carbon tax and stuff like that.
Exactly. Leave us alone. Stop taxing us. You stop trying to control my life with these weird things you come up with. Just let human beings do what they're going to do.
A carbon tax is not fucking. Hold on. A carbon tax is not weird. A carbon tax recovers an expense that industry has gotten away with not paying.
I don't think industry should pay anything for making carbon.